What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we got some player news here about the upcoming events for the CVC. It's going to be some progressive events. If you guys are going to be around for CVC, it's going to be Personal Reward CVC, and I will be streaming that starting tomorrow. So make sure you guys drop on by. Without further ado, let's jump into this player news here. So I'm going to break it down. We got 2 days worth of events. I'm going to break it down per day here. So first day, we got Visog, the Noxious, Stalk the Broken, First Act Tuskor, Kurgar, Death Bell, Froz, Wallbreaker, Klazag, Key Hulk, Grazur, Iron Gut, and Diamante Copper Coin. So some pretty, I guess we got some pretty good champions here from both I think they're Ogryn Tribe specific. Yes, they're all Ogryn Tribe specific here. Ogryn, a lot of Ogryn love, I guess. We got the Faction Unity champion here with Visog, the Noxious. Pretty cool champ here. We got the A1 that instantly activates the HP burn or poisons. We got the A2 here with the AoE attack, placing 2 poisons and an HP burn. And then we have the A3 here with the Faction Unity bonus stuff, increased speed, increased duration of all enemy debuffs, and decreased duration of all ally debuffs. And then we got some team heals going on here. In terms of the overall passive, we got the accuracy increase. We got a boost to HP burns and poisons for one faction ally. We got damage increase, and we got protected HP burn and poison. Now, I did playtest Visog the Noxious when he first came out, and honestly, he is very good with teammates. Very good with teammates. The boosted damage from the HP burn and poisons is very, very good. Otherwise, his kit's not particularly strong. Like if you were to run him by himself, he's not going to be as good as somebody like Theodore, for example, to run through content. So for him, he definitely benefits quite a bit with having other Ogryns on the same team. But I think without the Faction Unity bonus stuff, he's going to be relatively average, like average quality. Still decent, still very decent, but he's going to be a little bit weaker than, like I said, like real like solo champions like Theodore, for example. But he's very good with Ogryn allies. So he's going to be up for grabs as well. After that, we have Stalk the Broken, another Ogryn Tribe member. He was a fusion, I believe, last year. Not too bad of a champion here. He is missing something in his kit that I will complain about here a little bit. He has a double hit on his A2, and it's going to be an activation ability for HP burn and poisons. Now, the big thing about Stalk is that he doesn't land poisons. He doesn't land, HP burns himself. So he does require HP burn to come along with him. If he has an HP burner with him, see, this hit A3 does quite a bit. So this A3 goes from landing 2 poisons on everybody on a 3-turn cooldown to now instead landing 3 poisons and a weaken if the enemies have poison on them already, as well as getting 2 continuous heals. The 2 continuous heals always happens, but getting 3 poisons and a weaken here is a lot of value. But you need an HP burner with him, right? So there's not really that many HP burners on the Ogryn tribes. I can think of Ignatius, and I think there's one epic that does it as well. And then his passive here is kind of cool. You can kind of use it in arena a little bit, but I would say a little bit of a fringe case use here. He does bring speed in all battles, which is pretty nice. So after the Stalk the Broken, we have, who do we have? A Tuskor here. First Act Tuskor. Apparently he hits pretty hard. I don't really have a really strong memory of him hitting super hard. I think I play tested him a little bit. He does self buff here, and then he does have extra turn mechanics. He ignores shields on that big A3 there. He does have a damage boost on his A2, depending on how many buffs are on the enemy. Doesn't have an AoE attack as well. Extra turns really benefit him. He gets some more damage stacking. Honestly, I don't really see him as a really strong damage dealer, but for Ogryn tribes, maybe he stands out as doing relatively well. Kurgar Deathbell. I have this champion. I pulled him obviously too late in my account for him to be really good, but I think this champion is actually really, really solid. He has an A1 heal. He's got an A2 AoE. Fills turn meter by 30%. That's a big turn meter fill. And it's also a cleanse, which is awesome. It's on a 3-turn cooldown. This ability is actually really, really strong. And then he has a ally protection strengthen on his 3-turn cooldown here. This is really helpful for something like clan boss, for example, or just general content or boss content. His passive also quite decent at protecting your team. Increases this champion's resistance by 20 and defense by 10 for each ally protection on all allies. So this could be potentially a really, really strong buff. And it also boosts the stats of your allies as well. So this is how he further protects your team as well. He brings HP in all battles. He's a decent champion. And he's actually, yeah, pretty good kit overall, just progressing your account. After that, we have Kraw's Wallbreaker. So Kraw's Wallbreaker is the most recent fusion that just passed. He is a bomb champion. Touchless bombs here, which is probably the biggest sell for this guy. He's got an A3 stun here, which is actually pretty okay. He's got the duration decrease on the A1 as well. And then he's got the duration decrease with the block active skills on the A3. Is he okay? Yeah, he's okay. He can deal some damage. He has, like I said, he's touchless placing bombs, which is nice. But the biggest gripe about him is that he doesn't bring an extra turn mechanic, so he can't actually reduce the detonation time right away. So potentially the enemy gets 2 turns to react to your bombs, which is not so great. It just means that the chances of the bombs being cleansed off is higher. The chances of the enemy killing you before the bombs do anything is higher, and so forth. So Kraw's wasn't super well received, and honestly, I think he's probably just a Faction Wars champion if you need some additional damage. So after Kraw's, that's going to wrap up the non-voids. As for Void champions here, we got some pretty good ones. First up on the list, we have Klazag. Klazag, basically a souped up Lydia for the most part. Absolutely insane champion. He's got A1 Fear, transfer debuffs. A2 here, attacks enemies twice. First attack decreases defense and weaken. And the second attack decreases accuracy and resistance. Very crazy debuffs here. 4 debuffs on a single ability on a 3-turn cooldown. It's just absolutely nuts. And then his A3 brings 3 buffs and a bunch of team-wide buffs as well. Counterattack, unkillable on your whole team. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. Just crazy. And he has a passive that deals damage kind of passively, so you don't even need him to be crazy geared out. And yeah, just boost damage of your overall team. Now he is defense based. He is supposed to be a damage dealer, but his multiplier is not insane. So I wouldn't gear him out for specifically doing damage. Just gear him up as a really, really strong support. He can do quite a bit, and I think a lot of people would probably go after this guy. So he's going to be up for grabs for this progressive event. And then after that, we have Grazur. Grazur is actually another very solid Void Affinity Ogryn Tribe champion. He brings max HP damage on his A2. He has Provoke on his A3. 3-turn cooldown abilities as well. He's got an AoE attack on his A1. And then he has a really good passive that heals himself and his allies. And he has an unkillable on himself as well. Really good. I mean, overall, he's a great champ. Great champ. He can be very good in a lot of different places. His base stats, I think, are a little bit on the low side, to be honest. 18k HP and 1.3k defense. A little bit on the low side for a Void champion, but I mean, his kit overall is very strong. He even has a buff duration increase as well, so very good for, you know, those kind of shield shenanigans. Increased resistance, increased defense as well. Very nice. And then lastly, for the Void champions, we have Copper Coin here. Diamante was recently buffed, going from pure trash to actually pretty decent. So 112 base speed, very good. Good to use as your, you know, speed booster, I guess. He's got an A1 here, AoE. He's got a heal your full team. He's got an A2 here on a 3-turn cooldown, increased duration of all ally buffs with buff extension here, as well as a 20% turn meter fill. And he's got an A3 here with triple intercept stacks. And then he's got resistance and strengthen as well on everybody on a 3-turn cooldown. He's got passive here that got reworked. I believe previously this only worked on himself, and now it works on everybody on your team. But it basically has a 50% chance of converting a debuff into a buff when it's placed on an ally. So it kind of protects them a little bit from your enemies trying to debuff them. Unfortunately, just 50% chance, so it's not going to be like super consistent all the time. But he can be useful in a lot of different areas. Honestly, increased resistance, strengthen on your whole team. Super nice. 3 intercept stacks as well. And you got the turn meter boost buff extension here is also very, very good. Definitely can be useful in like those Wixwell teams. But yeah, that's going to be the progressive event for the first day, which is specifically targeting Ogryn tribes. On day 2, we have a Sacred Order targeted progressive event. So first up, we have Fallman Mornsword here. So he's going to be the faction unity champion. You know, he's supposed to be a damage dealer here. He has the ignore defense on the A2. It's going to be an AoE attack with some damage scaling for each buff and a debuff on the targets as well. He's got big A3 here. Before attacking, remove all buffs from the target. Damage increases by 20% for each buff removed. This ability is going to get buffed up for each faction ally. So first it becomes a steal instead of just a straight remove. 2 faction allies, you get a damage boost based on the amount of turns your ally or enemy has taken before Fallman does. which is a little bit of an interesting mechanic. And then with 3 allies, he does splash damage as well. So I think if you're going to try to maximize Fallman, don't build them with like insane speed. Make sure your teammates go ahead of him and all that. And he has a passive here that kind of helps him, kind of get a turn, right? He gets decreased damage mitigation. He has the ally turn meter fill. So making sure that your team goes fast. He also places revive on death on one ally whenever they drop below 50%. And then all allies are immune to cooldown increasing effects. And this effect is very, very strong. So Ballman's supposed to be a strong damage dealer here, but with a little bit of setup, he could be pretty good with Sacred Order. But perhaps they needed a support as opposed to like a damage dealer here. But that's just my opinion on Fallman. After that, we have Wixwell. Wixwell's still insanely good here in 2025. He's part of the tightest teams. He just dominates Clan Boss. Still crazy. The People's Champion that was built by the people. But yeah, he's absolutely insane. A1 Provoke. He's got the A2 decreased attack here with the Shield of Buff. And then he's got the A3 Intercept, increased defense with a shield. His passive also plays counterattack on himself. Very good champion. I mean, he can be used in lots of different areas like Hydra, even by himself. He's very decent as a Hydra champion. He's got A1 Provoke. 100% chance on bosses. Still affinity issues, but still very good. Decreased attack as well. The shield and stuff. Intercept can be good. For example, against the head of Torment. He could be a mischief tank, so build him with resistance. But yeah, very good champion overall. If you got him, you're most likely using him. So after that, we do have Archbishop Pinthroy. Now, Archbishop Pinthroy, the big thing about him was that he was mainly used as a block buff champion for Hydra. Spirit Affinity block buff champion on a 3-turn cooldown can be useful. But now his value actually went up a little bit because of Grim Forest. He also places Hero Reduction. So Hero Reduction champions definitely got a bit of a buff after the Grim Forest release, because the Hero Reduction is really good against the Mimic boss. So Archbishop Pinthroy definitely deserves a second look if you have him, especially for Grim Forest. He does bring shields and increased defense and a bit of a heal as well, so a decent support champion, but nothing too insane by today's standards outside of the heal reduction. So after that, we do have Corvus the Corruptor. I believe Corvus the Corruptor is also the champion that empowers Michelangelo, I believe. So I mean, he's a decent champion by himself. He does have the extensions as well, the buff extensions here, and then he has the debuff, increased duration of enemy debuffs, which is very nice. He has the A1 decreased attack, and then he brings a bunch of poison sensitivity as well. So he can be very good in areas like Clan Boss or against bosses that can be killed by poisons, which is very good. And he empowers Michelangelo. So that's going to be Corvus. And then lastly, for the non-voids, we have Martyr. Martyr, very old champion, very slow, 93 base speed. So this armor is definitely weighing her down. Defense-based damage dealer. She can hit okay. She can A1 decreased defense. A2 team-wide counterattack with increased defense, which is very good. Still not too many champions in this whole game that provide team-wide counterattacks. It's lots of damage against bosses. Clan Boss, for example. Decrease attack and provoke on the A3. Pretty simple, straightforward kit. She can hit okay. And if you need her for some kind of content where counterattack's really good, can be very, very good champion. Hard Fire Knight stands out. Clan Boss stands out. Used to be the old GOAT back in probably 2019, 2020, but nowadays obviously very power crept. So that's going to be it for the non-voids. Let's head over to the voids for Sacred Order. So first up, we have Cardiel. Cardiel, I love this champion. I have this champion on my alt account. Super hard carry here, 106 base speed. Has a little bit of stats all over the place. But he's pretty much a support champion. Doesn't hit very hard or anything like that. He's got an A1 team-wide heal here. He's got an A2 3-turn cooldown block debuffs with the revive on death and a full cleanse. Still very solid to this day, 2025. And then he has one of the best ally attacks in the game still, but it's not the best anymore. He's got a 4-turn cooldown, increased crit rate, increased crit damage. And if you kill somebody, he's going to drop this skill cooldown by 1 turn. Very, very strong champion, speed in all battles as well. He also counterattacks, or has a chance to counterattack with whenever your teammate counterattacks, which helps out bring a little bit of additional damage as well. So if you give him War Master, for example, he can pitch in a couple extra points of damage against bosses. And of course, he's looking super sexy in his gold-plated studliness. After that, we have Santa Claus. Santa Claus recently buffed into, actually relevance. He's actually really, really good. Previously, he was a very old champion, one of the first fusions in this game, and he really required a buff for a Void Legendary. Now he did get a buff. He has increased synergy with Lady Noelle. This ability is very good, also very bad at the same time because it's irresistible and cannot be blocked. Which means that Sir Nicholas can't block it himself, even if he has block debuffs, if it gets wanded or transferred back to him. So it's a good and bad, but it's a very high chance of landing freeze or guaranteed chance, which is absolutely nuts. This hit actually hits really good now, especially with Lady Noelle. 30% ignore defense does a lot. Strengthen and shield now. Shield's going to be a lot bigger because the damage inflicted will be more. So that's a pretty big buff for him. And then this ability got even crazier as well. So on a 4-turn cooldown, he now places counterattack and taunt on himself if he has Lady Noelle on the team. And he gets a passive, which is absolutely insane as well. So ignore defense effects are decreased. The effectiveness is decreased by 30% when allies are under shields. So it's a big buff to this champion. I could see this guy getting used a lot more, which makes sense because he's the mascot for Christmas for Raid. But yeah, Sir Nick is going to be up for grabs here. And lastly, we have Venus. Venus is going to be up for grabs as well. She's still very decent. She's got a 3-turn cooldown, decreased defense, and weaken. A1 poisons, and then A3 HP burn. So she does quite a bit, right? Poisons, HP burn, decreased defense, and weaken. This passive is kind of whatever. But overall, not too bad. I would say even this kit is kind of dated for a Void Legendary nowadays. But I mean, she's still pretty good. She's still pretty good against clan boss and stuff like that. Good against bosses in general because of the poison and HP burn. I'm used for like Hydra and stuff like that. But I would think she'd need something else. Maybe a rework on the passive. Maybe this drops down to like a 3-turn AoE. 4-turn AoE doesn't seem very strong nowadays, especially since epics can do this ability basically, right? Actually, I'm not too sure. Can epics do it 3-turn? Can epics do a 3-turn AoE? I think they can. But anyways, she's gonna be up for grabs as well for this progressive event. Anyways, that's gonna be it. You guys are all caught up on the news for the upcoming CVC. 2 separate days. Like I said, guys, make sure you guys know which day you guys are pulling on: Ogryn Tribe Day or Sacred Orders Day. We do have personal reward CVC happening tomorrow, and I will be streaming, so make sure you guys drop on by. Otherwise, I never recommend pulling for these progressive events because the odds of getting a non-void legendary is about 5%, and the odds of getting a void legendary of your choice is going to be somewhere around 16, 17%, around there. So it's a long shot, and you're pulling with non-boosted rates, so the chance of you getting a legendary to start with is already going to be very low. So I definitely don't recommend pulling for these progressive events. Definitely save up if you guys are, non-spendy type, and save up for either doing the fusion or some of the upcoming Christmas events that are probably going to come next week. All right, guys, you guys are all caught up. Thanks for watching until the end. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day, and see you guys in the next video.